look at Laura. Daniel, what can you tell us right now?
Well, Laura intensifying and intensifying quickly, expected to be a Category 4 storm by the afternoon today. And I think that when the 7 o'clock advisory comes out in about 30 minutes, I think that we're going to already see it bump up another category. It was right on the verge of 3 at 4 o'clock this morning, and it's got a good looking eye. It did not have the eye when I came in this morning at about 2:15, 2:20, and it's developed that since. There's not a whole lot between the storm now and when it makes landfall that's going to get in the way of this thing intensifying. So I think we're going to continue to get updates as we go through the day that is going to have a stronger and stronger storm as we look ahead. Eventually Category 4, 3 at landfall, but do not mishear me here. Do not think, well, it's a 4 in the Gulf and then it goes down to a 3, so it's a weaker storm. That may be true technically, but you're still going to have winds at about 120 miles an hour around the eye. You're going to have gusts at about 130. The storm surge will be catastrophic across southwestern parts of southwest Louisiana. You're talking a storm surge of about 10 to 15 feet in some areas. This is going to be probably the greatest storm surge threat that the Gulf Coast has seen in about a decade. Probably since the last time the U.S. was looking at a storm surge threat like that was probably back during Sandy. We wouldn't have seen anything like this in Louisiana since at least Ike. Hurricane warnings are up for southwest Louisiana. That is going to include portions of Acadiana as well. Acadia Parish, Evangeline Parish, Rapides Parish, all towards the west. Vermilion included in that as well. Tropical storm warnings for the eastern portions of Acadiana, stretching all the way to the other side of the basin, just down over towards Baton Rouge and through southeast Louisiana. But there are watches in place in case things start to change. A small wobble from the storm, put it 20 miles in either direction, is going to have outsized influence on the impacts that specific communities are going to feel. So you're going to have to maintain that vigilance, and you're going to have to stick with monitoring this forecast as we go through the day today. Do not hear things this morning and think that that's going to be true by the end of the afternoon. Right now, what we're looking at, 10 to 15 foot storm surge down along southwestern portions of Louisiana. That's going to go from Sabine Pass all the way through to Intracoastal City. For the Vermilion Bay, you're talking 8 to 12 feet worth of water coming up, particularly on the western and northern parts of Vermilion Bay. Zooming in here, you can see 9-foot storm surge rolling up the rivers, going up through Lake Charles. You are going to see saltwater inundation up to about 3 to 6 feet through the Lake Charles metro area, and then getting worse as you go further south. Cameron Parish likely all going to be underwater. Even if you are high enough up to escape the storm surge, there's going to be 20-30 foot waves on top of that, which is going to also increase the likelihood for damage, and then you are going to be left without services for a long time. It will be hard to get down there for at least 24, 48 hours. Moving our way eastwards down through the Vermilion Bay area, there are going to be portions of Vermilion Bay that catch that 9 foot or so. Again, 8 to 12 feet in certain areas. If we zoom in on some of the communities and look at Abbeville, you've got saltwater that's going to be approaching just south of about this Abbeville area. You're probably talking 3 to 6 feet. Gets worse when you do head down towards Intracoastal City. Delcombe, a little bit problematic with a lot of those canals that the shrimp boats are running in and out of. I would expect at least 9 foot of water to come up along those canals and onto the Delcombe area. That's going to put about 3 to 6 feet of water through Delcombe. Forked Island, you're sitting on the magnitude somewhere about 6 to 9 feet. Gaydon, similar in that 3 to 6 foot range, but it will be higher up along the rivers. This is going to be the Mermentau River here, and you're going to have that 9 feet or so stretching up. You could even see water approaching Jennings and areas along I-10, getting westwards of Crowley, maybe a foot or so, creeping up through portions of Acadia Parish. Out over through eastern Vermilion Bay through St. Mary, the storm surge probably sitting 3 to 6 feet. That is still significant, but not quite as catastrophic, and it's a lot marshier down there as well. I think water will approach LA 182 as it rolls through Franklin. It will approach Highway 90 as well, but should stay just shy of it. However, I would avoid those waterways, and I would avoid the coast at all costs coming up here over the next couple days. And remember, with strong winds from the south, it's going to keep that water piled up. We're going to see rainfall of about 5 to 10 inches with isolated amounts of about 15 inches. We'll look at a graphic for that coming up in just a few minutes. 30 to 50 mile an hour winds with gusts at 65 to 80 miles an hour. Those are going to be possible, maybe even 100 mile an hour plus for extreme western parts of Acadiana. That would be West Jefferson Davis Parish. Expecting widespread power outages, particularly in western and coastal Acadiana. Guys.
All right, thanks, Daniel.